good or not, if it's satisfied or not satisfied, that will be non-functional requirements. Doesn't matter what kind of things you're going to describe, is how the performance is, how the capacity is, how much, how quick or how slow the reaction will be. It's all about the good or bad. You use the easy way to actually evaluate this. So if it's yes or no, that will be functional requirements. If it is good or not good, that will be non-functional requirements. And when you are doing actually the non-functional requirements checking, what you need to do, you need to have a performance table as well. But sometimes these kind of tests need to be done by a large group of users, because or you have to write a testing code actually to pretend that you have like a large amount of the users who are actually using this system at the same time, and you will be able to see the volume they can take and the capacities of the server, sort of things. You guys clear? So if it's yes or no, that will be functional requirements. If it's if it is good or not, that will be non-functional requirements. The reason I ask you to understand this, because you guys is going to design you guys need to design the questionnaire for the requirements gathering. All right, then I actually emphasize several times, the reason you do this because you don't want any very important information to be overlooked. So that was the reason I don't want you to have the karaoke sort of, what is karaoke? Karaoke means you don't have to remember the lyrics. When you come to the karaoke, they already have, these lyrics is actually written in the TV program. So what you need to do is just read from there. So which means you don't have to do any of the preparation. You can go and sing. But this is not going to be happened in our requirements gathering. I want you guys to think about this one logically. In my class, I always tell you how important the logic is. So if you are using this one, the functional requirements and non-functional requirements as the guidance for you to design your entire questionnaire, everything is going to be covered. You understand? So we actually think about this from another way, flip it around. We think about the answer first. The answer is going to be classified into two different parts. So that was the reason when we are designing the questionnaire, we need to have the two different parts to be covered. Are you guys clear? So when you're designing questionnaire, you need to have the functional requirements, you need to have the non-functional requirements. And at the current theory, the very advanced one in the software engineering, they actually clarify the requirements into three different parts instead of two. Now it's functional requirements, non-functional requirements, but some of the new universities, they do three different parts, which is functional requirements, non-functional requirements, and the third one is the interface design and development. So the interface design and development, some of the organizations, they actually include this part as non-functional requirements, because we can't use yes or no actually to evaluate this. We need to use how good or how bad it is to evaluate it. All right, so that's why people, if they don't put it into the non-functional requirements, they still clarify this one as the third part, which is the interface design and development. And people will be asking me, why, Lynn, the interface design and development is such a big thing at this stage as well. The reason I'm saying this is because I can give you a very good example. If you go to booking.com, right? So you go booking.com. If this kind of information is actually not clarified or communicated between the stakeholders and also the programmers, once you put in the area code, for example, you put in Newcastle, and whatever the information is going to popping up to you will be all of the information which is related to Newcastle. But right now, you can see maybe 200, 300 different booking information popping up to your eyes. Right now, you wouldn't be able to find out which one you are looking for. The only information you can get is, okay, booking have a lot of resources, but I don't know which one should I choose. All right, so that comes to the stage of the interface design. You want to know how many of the items to be popping up at the first beginning, so that so that the client is going to have a better experience. You will see the interface design at the beginning. You think there is nothing actually related to the functional design or non-functional design, but actually the answer is absolutely yes. Understand? Because then from the interface design, you'll be able to know how each of the functionalities is going to be achieved, is interrelated with each other. So if you want to include this part into your non-functional requirements, that's fine. If you want to have it as a third part, that's absolutely fine as well. Understand? So that comes to the requirements when you are doing the requirements gathering, the questionnaire design and development. I want you guys to actually classify them into two or three different categories, which is functional and non-functional, and the last one will be the interface. But the things your client is not from IT background, so I don't want you guys actually to say, oh, the first question I'm going to ask is the functional requirements. The second one I'm going to ask is non-functional requirements. They wouldn't understand, all right? But the thing is, in the end, when you're doing the requirements analysis, you still need to put them into two or three different categories. So when you are asking the question, I want you guys to be very clear about what kind of question you ask, but you don't have to mention this in your questionnaire. You guys clear?
Ma'am, is it next week?
Yeah, for next week, what I'll do is I'm going to... A second. For next week, I'm going to ask the client to be in our meeting again, so that you will have the chance actually to talk to your client again. So in this week, what you need to do is to design the questionnaire. Okay?
Okay,
you clear?
Yeah,
right?
clear.
So that's the only thing that you're going to do. You don't have to do any presentation. What you need to do is to actually identify the question, doing such like brainstorming with all of your group members, and think about what kind of things need to be included in your requirements gathering questionnaire. So that will be the guidance for you guys to conduct the survey or conduct the interview with the client. Understand? But even though you are not writing this, you're not writing this in your survey or questionnaire, say this is a functional, this is a non-functional, but I still want you to be very clear about what is functional, what is non-functional. Because in the end, when you are writing the requirements gathering, you still need to put them into two or three different categories. So you're looking for the confirmation, or you're seeking for the clarifications for your requirements gathering, for your implementation, but you need to make sure all of the questions are covered. How do you make sure those? Because the question that you're going to ask is only regarding the requirements, and the requirements is going to be classified into three different parts, which is functional, non-functional, and the last